up, everybody? This is JP from Off the Ball Network giving you a recap of NFL Week 2 of the regular season. Before we get into the recap, make sure you subscribe down below to Off the Ball Network for all your sports needs. Follow us on our social media platforms and also check out offtheballnetwork.com for everything you need, articles, podcasts, bets, everything on offtheballnetwork.com. Shout out to the guys from Off the Ball Network doing their thing. We're in year 2 of getting it stronger and stronger. We keep pushing forward, and it's time for these NFL recaps. What we have here today, let's go ahead and start out with the Giants versus Washington, which is a very close game. Washington won by 1 point with a made field goal. Tyler Heineke played really well. Starting Fitzpatrick's out, a couple weeks due to his hip and everything, but Tyler Heineke came out and did really well. 34 out of 46, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns. Daniel Jones did pretty well too as well. Got a rushing touchdown, 95 yards. So he ran the ball pretty well as a quarterback. Terry Malone, 11 receptions, 107 yards and a touchdown. So definitely they made the most out of it. Washington made the most. Beating the Giants 30-29. The Giants are still looking for that one victory, just that one victory. And we have the Bengals and the Bears, where we saw Andy Dalton went down. It's Justin Fields time. Bring him in. Just bring him in. And, he got his first, performance out the way, Looked a little shaky, but, had 60 yards, had like an interception. So, but, he managed the game really well, though. So shout out to Justin Fields. And they still kind of questioning, is Andy Dalton still going to be starting, which most likely he might be, according to Coach Nagy. But they got the victory 20-17. Joe Burrow had a really impressive game, going 19 out of 30. 207 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon, they went and had themselves a great game. Got 20 carries, only 69 yards. Tyler Boyd played all right, 7 receptions, 73 yards. But Joe Fields looking pretty good. The defense is looking good for the Bears too. So we'll just have to see what happens. Is Danny Dalton going to play this Sunday? We just got to see what happens when they give us further medical reports. You still got Nick Foles too as well, because Michael Irvin said might be Nick Foles going to go ahead and get that start over Justin Fields, give Justin Fields a little bit more time. We just have to wait and see, but we know that Justin Fields, if everything goes good with the weapons and everything, he'll be explosive, a dual threat quarterback, getting selected in the draft. Look like there's some promising things for Mr. Fields in Chicago. And let's go ahead and get to the Browns versus the Texans, where we see Tyrod Taylor. It just seems like in week 2, Tyrod Taylor gets hurt. It's like the curse of Tyrod Taylor week 2. He gets hurt, unfortunately. But, the Browns pick up the victory 31-21. Baker Mayfield had 213 yards and a touchdown. Nick Chubb, 95 yards and a touchdown. He's very underrated running back, Nick Chubb is. And he just moves the ball. Don't really say much. He just does his business. Brandon Cooks had himself a good game from the Texans, 78 yards and a touchdown. Mayfield was injured too as well, but he shook off the injury and wasn't going to miss a sack once they popped back that left shoulder for him. So, they still just got to be careful with him, this Sunday. But they still picked up the victory, though, 31-21. The Rams versus the Colts, close game. Carson Wentz unfortunately gets injured. It seems like the quarterback is getting injured on Sunday, but he injured both his ankles, sprained both of his ankles. I don't know how, but he did. It just seems like Carson Wentz cannot pass the injury bug. It just seems the injury bug just keeps coming to him every single year. It's like a different injury. The Rams, Matt Stafford's looking really good in that MVP conversation. Might win MVP this year. Just to throw that out there. But the Rams defeated the Colts 27-24. Matthew Stafford, 19 out of 30, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns. Henderson, the running back, 53 yards and a touchdown. Coop played really well, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 receptions. So congratulations to the Rams. They are still undefeated. And then the Bills versus the Dolphins. The Bills losing to the Steelers last week didn't really play really well, but they destroyed the Dolphins 35-0. Tua's injured again. so Tua's injured. It's like, just another one. But Josh Allen didn't really play well, but That's 17 out of 33. He didn't really play well. Somebody called him out. If you check out Overreaction Monday on our social media platforms, man, Mo called Josh Allen out, and I see why. The past couple weeks he's not delivering. He's not the Josh Allen that we saw in the NFL top 100, who was in the top 10. That's not the Josh Allen we're seeing. We're seeing somebody else. Somebody else is in that player. I don't know who it is, but 17 out of 33, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. Singletary, 13 carries, 82 yards and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 60 yards and a touchdown, 4 receptions. But the Bills pretty much just destroyed the Dolphins, and that's a disappointing loss for the Dolphins. They got to recover and get something back. And we see the Patriots and the Jets, where we see Matt Jones versus Zach Wilson. Matt Jones played really well in this game too as well. Zach Wilson, not so much, and I'm going to be on record like Mo said on Overreaction Monday. Check it out on social media platforms. Zach Wilson is probably going to end up being a bust. I agree with him last night on Overreaction Monday because 4 interceptions. I mean, it's rookies. We don't really overreact because he's only in his first season. That he could be exciting. The Jets would be an exciting team to watch, but they ain't going to win you games though. He had more interceptions than completions, and it was really sad to see. It's like you just go out there and just try, and then just find out how you get better each week. I just hope the Jets don't treat him like they did with Sam Darnold, what we get to in a little bit later here on the recap. I just hope they just don't treat him like that, because in a couple years they're like, well, we're gonna go find another quarterback, and then we'll go get Zach Wilson. I wasn't really high on him in the draft though, but everybody was, which I don't understand though. But he 19 out of 33, 210 yards, 4 interceptions, just terrible. Damian Harris played really well, 62 yards, a touchdown. But yeah, Matt Jones, kept the mistakes to a minimum, moved the ball down the field, and did enough to beat the Jets 25-6. And we have the 49ers and the Eagles. The Eagles had an impressive victory over Atlanta. Not so much because Atlanta's Falcons defense is horrible. But the 49ers beat them 17-11. Jimmy Garoppolo, played really well. Nick Bosa led the charge on the defense. Jalen Hurts, after an impressive showing he did against Atlanta, only had 190 yards, 12 out of 23. Had a rushing touchdown, 82 yards, 10 carries. Watkins from Philly played really well with 117 yards, only 2 receptions. But pretty much the 49 defense is looking good. The offense is looking good too as well. Deebo Samuel having himself a game too as well. So they're 2-0, the 49ers are, and the Eagles is 1-1. 17-11 49ers. The Raiders looking really good. Derek Carr's in the MVP conversation. He's looking really good these past 2 weeks. Beat the Steelers 26-17. Everyone's like, oh, the Steelers is back because they beat the Bills. And then TJ Watt got injured, so but Derek Carr had himself a good game. 20 out of 37, 382 yards, 2 touchdowns. Najee Harris, 10 carries, 38 yards. The highlight though was Najee Harris with that stiff arm. If you didn't see that stiff arm, please check it out. That was really nice. I was like, welcome to the league, Najee, with that stiff arm. Harry Ruggs played really well, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. John Gruden, is looking really good these past 2 weeks, but we always said that sometimes when the success comes, here comes the downfall. I think the Raiders is looking good, but then the downfall will come later in the season. I bet you Derek Carr and John Gruden are going to have a head of clashes. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But the Raiders defeated the Steelers 26-17. We had the Saints versus the Panthers. The Saints looked good against the Green Bay Packers. Winston throwing for 5 touchdowns, and Winston didn't really do much here this game, as they really didn't score anything until the fourth quarter with only 7 points, which is very disappointing. James Winston was getting hit. The offensive line couldn't do anything. Alvin Kamara was awful. Defense was getting destroyed by the Panthers offense. The Panthers is looking really good. The Panthers are looking really good so far. They're 2-0. They're sleeping. Sam Darnold's looking really good. 26 out of 38. 305 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is what happens when you give Sam Darnold weapons like Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. You give him some weapons. Sam Darnold's doing something. He is doing something. Christian McCaffrey, 72 yards, 1 touchdown, 24 carries. I hope he stays healthy. DJ Moore, 79 yards, a touchdown, 8 receptions. Carolina's looking really good so far. They destroyed the Saints, which surprised me. So, and then we have the Broncos versus the Jaguars. Teddy Bridgewater, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, 26 out of 34. Javonte Williams, 13 carries, 64 yards. Cortland Sutton, 9 receptions, 159 yards. Sutton had a really career day where he established himself as the Denver go-to guy with a good game against the Jaguars. The Jaguars is not looking good. Urban Meyer's not looking really good. Trevor Lawrence is not looking really good. That Jaguars is not that great of a team. But the Broncos is looking good. They're looking real good. They're 2-0. They're all 2-0. Von Miller bleeding the defense. Better watch out. 23-13. The Vikings versus Cardinals, which was a great game. I hate that the Vikings lost. The kicker needs to be fired from the Vikings for missing that dang field goal to put themselves with one victory, with one win here. But Kyler Murray is looking really good. 29 out of 36, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins didn't play well, but Kyler Murray played really good. And, had them 2 interceptions that kind of hurt him just a little bit, though. Dalvin Cook, 22 carries, 131 yards. Kirk Cousins played really well. Moore from Arizona, 114 yards and touchdown. He showed out. And God, the Vikings just 0-2. The Cardinals is 2-0. They're looking really good at the right time. Falcons and Buccaneers. The Buccaneers destroyed the Falcons 48-25. I ain't gonna go much about the freaking the Falcons because they kind of suck. Freaking Brady, 276 yards, 5 touchdowns is all I would say. Looking really good at 44 years old. Putting out freaking touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. Leonard Fournette, 52 yards, 11 carries. Mike Evans, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Matt Ryan, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. It just seems like the downfall after that collapse in the Super Bowl. It just seems like you can get the Super Bowl and get the MVP Matt Ryan, but you can't have anything else. I mean, they're just looking awful. Just god awful. So, Buccaneers 48 to the Falcons 25. Cowboys and Chargers. Cowboys won 20-17. Justin Herbert, 338 yards, 1 touchdown. Tolly Pollard, 109 yards, 1 touchdown, 13 carries. Keenan Allen, 108 yards, 4 receptions. The kicker, Zola, made a 56-yarder on the last play. And they defeated Chargers 27-2. Really good game. Titans and Seahawks. The Seahawks were up 15. Wilson and all of them was going to put it away. And they let the Titans come back. Derrick Henry led the charge. 182 yards, 35 carries, 3 touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill had himself a good game. 27 out of 40, 347 yards. Tyler Lockett had himself a game. 178 yards, 1 touchdown, 8 receptions. The Seahawks is not looking good after that game. It was just terrible. I mean, terrible. My goodness gracious. Just let them come back. And they had a chance to win it in overtime. And they let the Titans win. Titans won 33-30. Chiefs and Ravens, where we saw ourselves a really good game. Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes had themselves a really good game for each other. Patrick Mahomes, 343 yards, 3 touchdowns, 24 out of 31. Lamar Jackson wasn't great throwing ball, but rushing. 16 carries, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns, and put it away in that game winner and all that too as well. As soon as the coach was like, hey, you want to do it? Hey, Lamar was like, hell yeah, and freaking just scored for the touchdown here, 36-35. The Ravens won. Marquise Brown, 6 receptions, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. Chiefs first loss right there, and the Ravens feel like they're the best AFC team. And so, but hey, Chiefs got to go through it, this season. But hey, the Chiefs are probably still going to go to the Super Bowl. They're looking good. You still can't beat them on their best day. So, and the Ravens luckily won that game 36-35. And then we have the Lions versus Packers. Everybody was expecting the Lions to win because the Packers feel like, Aaron Rodgers is going to be Paul Crewe and kind of shade points. Freaking Packers destroyed the Lions 35-17. Aaron Rodgers had himself a game, 22 out of 27, no interceptions, 255 yards, 4 touchdowns. Aaron Jones had himself a good game too as well. 17 carries, 67 yards, 1 touchdown. Javonte Adams, 8 receptions, 121 yards. I mean, the Jones and Rogers, that combination together, they were deadly against the Lions last night as they destroyed them 35-17. That was your NFL recap week 2. Comment down below your thoughts about one of the games. Thoughts about who is going to be in the MVP conversation. Who impressed you? Your biggest winner, your biggest loser, most surprising team that's still undefeated. Put it down below. Like this video if you like this video. Subscribe to Off the Ball Network for all your sports needs. Follow us on our social media platforms. And also check out offtheballnetwork.com for all your sports needs. And I'm JP, and we are out of here. Peace.